I remember feeling utterly powerless, a sensation that seemed to cling to me like a persistent shadow. It was a time when I felt adrift, disconnected from any sense of control over my own destiny. I felt like a mere passenger in my own life, passively observing the world go by, but never truly participating. I was strapped into a seat, watching the scenery change, but with no hand on the steering wheel. I was tossed about by other people's choices and circumstances, a small boat on a vast and unpredictable ocean. Every wave, every gust of wind dictated my course, leaving me feeling helpless and vulnerable. Desperate for a way out, I searched everywhere for answers. I dove deep into the wisdom of others, hoping to find a lifeline. I devoured books, sought advice from anyone who would offer it, anything that promised a glimmer of hope, a path towards regaining control. I was hoping for a secret fix, a magic formula that would instantly transform my life and restore my sense of agency. But the real shift came, not from an external source, but from a profound internal realization. It was when I finally realized that the answers I had been so desperately seeking were already within me, not somewhere out there in the world. The storm wasn't happening to me as some external force. It was happening in me, a reflection of the inner turmoil I had been carrying for so long. 3 simple truths, once understood and embraced, changed everything. They became the cornerstones of my transformation. The first was consciously choosing who I let into my life, carefully curating my inner circle. The second was being mindful of where I put my energy, directing it towards endeavors that nourished my soul and aligned with my values. And the third, perhaps the most challenging, was mastering the art of letting go, releasing attachments to things that no longer served me. These 3 principles became the foundation for a new way of living, a life built on self-awareness, intention, and acceptance. They're not just my story. They're more than just personal anecdotes or individual experiences. They're universal principles that anyone can use to reclaim their power, regardless of their background or circumstances. Today, I want to share these truths with you, not as an expert or guru, but as a fellow traveler on this journey of self-discovery. I share them as someone who's walked this path, stumbled, learned, and ultimately found peace, hoping to illuminate your own way forward. For years, I thought I was just unlucky, constantly finding myself in situations that left me feeling depleted and emotionally exhausted. I couldn't understand why I seemed to attract people who thrived on negativity and drama. It felt like a never-ending cycle of being surrounded by draining individuals. I felt like I was always attracting draining people, those who seemed to feed off my energy and leave me feeling empty. I questioned my own judgment, wondering why I couldn't seem to cultivate relationships that were mutually supportive and uplifting. But the truth is, toxic people knock on everyone's door. They don't discriminate. Everyone encounters challenging personalities and individuals who may not have the best intentions. It's a universal experience. The difference is who we let stay. The key lies not in avoiding these encounters altogether, but in discerning who deserves a place in our inner circle and who needs to be kept at arm's length. I realized I was leaving my emotional door wide open, without any screening process or boundaries in place. I was essentially inviting anyone and everyone into my personal space, regardless of their potential impact on my well-being. I was letting anyone in without considering the consequences. I wasn't protecting my energy or prioritizing my own emotional health. It was a recipe for disaster. Setting my first real boundary was scary, a daunting task that felt unnatural and uncomfortable. It required me to confront my own people-pleasing tendencies and prioritize my needs. But it changed everything. It was a pivotal moment that shifted the dynamics of my relationships and empowered me to take control of my emotional well-being. I told a friend, "I care about you, but I can't have this conversation right now." It was a simple statement, yet it carried immense power. It was an assertion of my own needs and a refusal to engage in draining interactions. The dynamic shifted, the relationship transformed as I established clear boundaries and refused to be a constant source of emotional support without reciprocity. I was no longer a dumping ground for negativity, a place where others could unload their burdens without regard for my own well-being. I had reclaimed my power and created a space of emotional safety. My peace became my responsibility, a precious commodity that I was determined to protect at all costs. I realized that I couldn't rely on others to safeguard my emotional well-being. And protecting it wasn't selfish, it was necessary. It was an act of self-preservation, a recognition that I deserved to be surrounded by positivity and support. You are the gatekeeper of your own energy. You possess the power to decide what you allow into your life and what you choose to keep out. You decide who stays in your life, who earns the privilege of sharing your time and energy. It's a conscious choice that should be made with intention and discernment. Closing the door on what drains you, on the relationships and situations that leave you feeling depleted and unfulfilled, creates space for what uplifts you, for the people and experiences that nourish your soul and bring you joy. Your well-being depends on it. Prioritizing your emotional health and surrounding yourself with positivity is not a luxury. It's a fundamental requirement for a fulfilling and meaningful life. My next realization was about focus. I obsessed over a job I didn't get, pouring all my energy into it. When it fell through, I felt lost, until I redirected that energy inward. I started a passion project, reconnected with friends, and new opportunities appeared. The universe opened doors I hadn't noticed before. What you focus on expands. Pour energy into resentment, and you'll find more to resent. Pour it into growth, and your life flourishes. Your energy is your most valuable currency. Invest it in yourself, not in chasing validation or outcomes. Stop putting people and outcomes on a pedestal. Build your own foundation. The most freeing lesson I've ever learned and continue to learn is the art of letting go. It's a concept that sounds simple, but in practice, it can be incredibly challenging. We often cling to things, situations, and even people, thinking that control brings security. But the truth is, holding on too tightly can suffocate the very things we cherish. In a past relationship, my need to control every aspect, from the smallest details to the grandest plans, created anxiety, not only for myself but also for my partner, ultimately leading to distance between us. My attempts to steer the relationship in a specific direction only served to create friction and resentment. When I finally surrendered, letting things unfold naturally, trusting the process, and relinquishing my grip on the reins, the energy shifted dramatically. The tension eased, and a sense of peace settled over us, even if temporarily. The relationship eventually ended, as many do, and that's okay. But I gained something far greater than the relationship itself, the invaluable lesson of freedom. Freedom from the burden of control, freedom from the anxiety of expectation. Wanting nothing, or rather detaching from specific outcomes, paradoxically gives you everything. It opens you up to possibilities you couldn't have imagined when you were fixated on a single path. Letting go doesn't mean giving up on your dreams or goals. It's not about apathy or resignation. It simply means holding them lightly, with an open hand, allowing for flexibility and unexpected opportunities. Trust that what's truly meant for you will find its way to you, arriving at the perfect time when you're in alignment with your authentic self and the universe. Desperation, on the other hand, creates a barrier, blocking the flow of abundance and preventing you from seeing the opportunities that are right in front of you. When you release attachment to specific outcomes and instead focus on cultivating your own inner peace and well-being, you become a magnet, effortlessly attracting better things, better relationships, and better experiences into your life. Life has an incredible way of surprising you, often exceeding your wildest expectations. All of this happens when you stop trying to force outcomes and instead allow the natural flow of life to guide you. Whenever I feel myself gripping too tightly to a situation, a person, or an idea, I consciously step back, take a deep breath, and remind myself to trust the process, even when I can't see the path ahead. Letting go is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing practice, a daily commitment to surrendering to the wisdom of the universe. It's the key to unlocking a life of flow, ease, and miracles, inviting abundance and joy into every aspect of your being. Understanding these truths is just the start. Living them is where change happens. First, set clear boundaries. Start small. Say, "I'm not available for this conversation," or limit time with draining people. Each boundary you honor strengthens your self-respect and peace. Second, reclaim your energy. When you catch yourself obsessing, pause. Redirect your focus to something nourishing, even briefly. Your energy is yours to command. Third, practice letting go. At the end of each day, visualize releasing your worries. Say, "I release what no longer serves me. I welcome what is meant for me." This daily ritual builds trust in life's flow. Small, consistent actions create real transformation. You don't need a perfect moment, the moment is now. These three truths, boundaries, focus, and letting go, can change your life from the inside out. I moved from powerlessness to empowerment by applying them daily. My anxiety faded, replaced by quiet confidence and trust in myself. I stopped chasing validation and started attracting what was right for me. This journey is personal. Maybe you need boundaries, maybe to reclaim your energy, or maybe to let go. There's no wrong place to start, just begin. Take a moment. Which lesson resonates most right now? That's your starting point. Awareness is the beginning of transformation. The goal isn't perfection, it's awareness. When you feel lost, remember, you have the tools to return to your center. Boundaries, focus, and letting go are lifelong practices. Your anchors in any storm. You are more powerful than you think. Your reality is shaped by small, conscious choices every day. Protect your energy, direct your focus, trust your journey. You are the gatekeeper of your energy and the co-creator of your destiny. Let this knowledge become real for you. Change begins the moment you realize, release, and reclaim. Your new beginning is here. The power has been in your hands all along.